Do you want to start an YouTube or a Twitch channel, but you don't want to appear in the camera and you want to protect your privacy? Today, I'm going to show you how I make avatars like this completely by myself, from start to finish, step by step, without having to spend tons of money. But before we begin, let me clarify the terms that I will use. When I say VTuber, I mean these highly complex avatars. These need a camera for facial motion tracking and also usually a live 2D subscription. When I say reactive PNG tuber, it's the opposite. It's the extremely simple avatars that simply open and close their mouths based on voice activity. That's why they are called reactive, they are just reacting to the sounds. Which means you only need a mic and maybe a software like ViadoTube, for example. When I say Honk PNG tuber, I mean my avatar, which is in between. These avatars are complex, but do not require any subscriptions and do not require any cameras. Avatar models like mine use your mouse movement and voice only. So all you need is a mic and a software like Honk. So in this tutorial, I will teach you how to create an avatar exactly like mine, which is a Honk PNG tuber. And to do this, you will just need some really basic art skills that you will need for cutting the avatar in different parts so we can make it move. If you do not have any sort of art skills at all, then I recommend you either 1. Commission an artist, like me for example, to create and prepare the avatar for you, or if you cannot afford it right now, you can commission or buy a reactive PNG tuber instead. You can get an adoptable ready for use for just a couple dollars. Okay, so to make your avatar, first you will need the design. Define your concept and aesthetic for your channel. After you have a clear idea of what sort of content you will create and what kind of image you want to give, you can choose an art style for your avatar. For example, on my main channel, I cover wholesome and girly games, and I love pixel art. So I decided to make a pixel tuber, or a pixel art avatar, as it resonated with me and with my audience. You could do something like a chibi avatar, or a nostalgic anime style, maybe a funny doodle, a cute little animal, or even a pixel art one, like mine. It all depends on your personal preference and the kind of content you want to create. After you have your design and concept defined, all you need is any art editing software, which you can find many free options out there. So we can finally draw and prepare the art to be cut. The most recent avatar I've done was Kaylee's BT model, so I'll share hers here in this video as an example for the full process step by step. The first step is to draw your model but separate it into pieces. Set up your canvas in a high quality size such as these, and do your line art so you can see how many pieces you will need in the end. Start drawing each piece in a separate layer. Also in this step, make sure you draw a little bit of a bleeding area for each piece that's underneath to prevent gaps from showing up when your model moves. The amount of pieces will depend on how complex you want your model to be. For this model, I split Kaylee's avatar in 19 pieces, which you can see on the screen for reference if you want to do the exact same for practice. You will also need some extra pieces in there, one for the blinking animation, which should be just closed eyes, and a few more with mouth variations so we can set up the voice tracking later. Once you drew all of the individual pieces, I recommend you rename the layers using the same method that I do, to ensure that all of the pieces will be in the correct depth later on in the rigging process. My method is, I use a number from 1 to 5, plus a letter in alphabetical order, plus the name of the piece. For example, in my model, I have my glasses as layer 1A glasses, since it's on the top of everything. Then I have my eyebrows as layer 1B eyebrow, since it's on the top of everything but still underneath the glasses, so it's B instead of A. And lastly, I have my cloak as layer 5A cloak, since it's on the bottom of everything. If I had a chair behind me, that would be 5B chair, for example. So the 1s are on the top, the 5s are on the bottom, and the alphabetical order just helps you further organize those layers. Don't worry if this renaming step is too confusing, because once you do it, it's going to get a lot easier to understand. Don't forget also that you can bookmark this video and follow along later on. If you'd like further help, consider joining my Patreon. There I share my full process of creating avatars in real time, along with tutorials, live stream VODs, freebies, and more. Once you are done renaming the layers, export each layer as a PNG with transparent backgrounds, one by one, all in the same canvas size. After you have all of your art exported and ready to rig, all you will need is Honk for rigging your model to make it move. Honk is a perpetual license software where you pay only $12 once and it's yours forever to use. This is all you will need to start your channel, besides of course mic with good quality. After you installed Honk, open its folder and open characters. There you can start the Make New Character file. This will create a new folder for you, which you can rename however you like. Inside this new folder, you will find another folder called Images. Inside Images, you can paste all of the pieces PNGs that you exported before. Now you can open the actual Honk app. There you will find your new character folder with a blank background. The first step is to click on the plus button, which means create a layer, and add each one of the pieces that you exported. Once you add all of the pieces, you may need to adjust the zoom depending on the size of your monitor until you can fit in the entire model. Now we'll order the layers depth. You will notice that in Honk there are 6 layers, from 0 to 5. Layer 0 is bottom layer, while 5 is the topmost layer. So here I assign each one of the pieces to a layer by selecting each piece and clicking here to reorder. If you use the numbering system that I mentioned, it should be easy for you to reorder these. Personally, I don't use the layer 0 and 5 because I like to save them for special effects and backgrounds if needed. So what I did with Cakemoonsugar was, every piece that starts with number 1 will be at layer 4. Every piece that starts with number 3 will be at layer 2. And again, this may be confusing at first, but once you do it, I promise it will get easier. After you reordered all of the layers, which please pay attention when doing this step because you can make some little mistakes and it will be really hard to track which layer is where later on. You will need to set up each layer one by one, so they are already in the right order, but we need to adjust them so they get animated. We'll be using mainly the Look at Cursor and the Rotates on Speech buttons. Look at Cursor is essentially the mouse tracking. So if a piece is set to look at the cursor, it will follow your mouse around. Rotates on Speech is the mic tracking, where the pieces will shake every time they pick up your voice. For this step, my recommendation is for you to just try and test as you go until you find the result that you desire. For Cakemoonsugar, I used varied levels of Look at Cursor in every single piece, so it has a more natural movement, while the Rotates on Speech, I only used in the hair strands to add some dynamic. The next step is setting up the blinking and the lip syncing animations. For this, we'll use the button Edit Sprite. First, select the layer that has your eyepiece. Click on Edit Sprites and add the blink sprite here. Then, select the layer with your mouthpiece. Click on Edit Sprites as well and add all of the extra mouths here. These letters refer to the different sounds, so you can assign whatever mouth shape makes the most sense for that kind of sound. For example, a U sound would be a small open mouth like this. Here my recommendation is again to just try and adjust until you get the result you want. You do not need to set each mouth shape available, but the more you do, the more realistic your lip sync will look like. Now your model is ready. And one more neat feature that I want to mention that Honk has is the emotes. For example, for Kaylee's model, I decided to create a version where she has no horns. For this, I simply clicked on the horns layer and clicked to disable it on emote number 2. You can then assign hotkeys to these emotes so you can change them during the stream. However, if you do want to do that, I recommend setting up your visibility hotkeys on your streaming software as well to hide the UI and the avatar while it's loading, or else your viewers will be able to see the Honk UI menu. Lastly, don't forget to save. Also, make sure to change your background color to green screen, and link your mic and also calibrate your mouse tracking as well. And now you have a full model ready to use. You do not need a webcam, you do not need a subscription, and you're fully ready to make new videos and live streams. Please let me know in the comments below if you would like a guide on how to set up your model inside OBS as well, and also tell me what your channel is going to be about. Feel free to link your socials down below so we can all support each other. If you like this tutorial and this was helpful to you, please consider subscribing as this helps me a lot, and hit the bell to be notified of my next videos that I have scheduled and others in the future. Thank you so much for watching and see you on the next one.
Ryan Little.